All right, let's go to all day, fam. Hold on, give me a second.
Who? All right.
What's up, all day? So we back again here for another segment. We got what do we got on the menu, man? Let's see what we got here. Let's see. I already talked about that last night. Yeah. So there's no need of having that on there. Okay, what we got? Let's see here. Nick Wright suggests there may be friction inside the Broncos. All right, let's see here. So, according to Sports Kitty Pro Football, Nick Wright suggests there may be friction inside the Broncos locker room and pointed out to Bo Nix and Sean Payton. So, Bo Nix is upset with Sean Payton. Nick Wright is sounding the alarm in Denver. Let's see what we got. What we talked about. Let's see what we're. Let's look at this article. Bo Nix is upset with Sean Payton. Nick Wright issues major warning about Broncos locker room tension. This is kind of old news back on January 31st. Yeah, but I don't think I talked about the Bo Nix and Sean Payton situation. So Nick Wright has raised concerns about the Denver Broncos internal situation after Bo Nix and Sean Payton's contradictory remarks about the quarterback's injuries. Payton told reporters Tuesday that surgeons discovered a chronic problem during Nix's procedure. He said the injury was inevitable and cited prior ankle surgeries from the quarterback's high school and college years. Nix rejected the statements on Wednesday. He said no chronic condition existed and called out Payton for sharing his medical information publicly. There was nothing that was predisposed, Nix said. Nothing that was there originally. That might have gotten confused. I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you. He doesn't even really know that. It's not that big of a deal. I think the media blows stuff way out of proportion. All he's saying is that he just shouldn't have shared his information. He has every right to say that. It doesn't mean that there's tension in the locker room. Like, what, they got to be walking on eggshells? Like, come on, bro. He's a grown man. Okay, we're playing a physical sport here. I sometimes like I don't like. It's like if somebody on the same team or a coach and they have different perspectives or they counter what they're saying, it's all of a sudden supposed to be like this big deal, bro. It's not that deep. It's really not. So Wright addressed Nick's remarks on Thursday while discussing the Broncos season, which ended with a loss to the New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game on Sunday. So this is a weird 96 hours from a team that had, by any objective measure, a wildly successful season. And if you handle the PR right, nobody's mad at anybody, Wright said on First Things First. Instead, Sean Payton fired 3 coaches, including his offensive coordinator, who attributes his firing to, and I quote, Sean was in one of his moods. Bo Nix calls his own press conference to correct what he considers misinformation, not from the dark web or AI or bots, but from his head coach. So it's nothing that all of a sudden it really sounds like the quarterback of the Broncos is upset with the head coach of the Broncos. The quarterback of the Broncos is upset with the head coach of the Broncos. Right at it. That's something, and it's something weird. I guess. So according to First Things First, this is Nick. I believe this is Nick Wright saying this because he's over Nick First Things First, or maybe not over it, but one of the main people on First Things First. Nobody wants to hear this from me, but this is a weird 96 hours from a team that had, by any objective measure, a wildly successful season that ended with when it did. So Nick Wright did say this. So at Get Nick Wright thinks it's weird, but significant that Bo Nix is seemingly upset with Sean Payton. Payton dismisses offensive coordinator Joe Lombardi, wide receivers coach Kerry Colbert, and cornerbacks coach Addison Lynch following the loss to the Patriots. Bo Nix led the Broncos to a 14-3 record and the top seed in the AFC. However, their Super Bowl hopes took a massive hit when the quarterback injured his ankle in the final moments of the divisional round victory against the Buffalo Bills. Nick's absence played a big role in Denver's offensive struggles against New England. So, I guess that's it. That's it for that article. But I don't think it's as big of a deal as most people are trying to make it. But I mean, I guess people have to find things to talk about. And me, I'm not going to try to make things up. If I don't have things to talk about, I'm just going to end the show, you know. But or try to find other NFL news to talk about. I'm not going to just if it's pointless information, I'm not going to be like try to make a big deal about it. Is what I'm basically saying. I may mention it, may talk about it, but I'm not going to try to blow it out of proportion. Like the media is trying to blow this Bo Nix and Sean Payton thing out of proportion. We probably would forget this even happened in come training camp. They're probably going to make this entire storyline all the way from January to freaking March, April, May, June, maybe around July. They're gonna stop talking about it. You know, maybe I don't know. They're probably gonna keep talking about it up until first preseason game. These are going to be a very quick months. Like this year is going to go by very fast. These years always go by fast. But maybe I can find maybe if Nick Wright talked to me, I could find the video. Nick Wright mentioned this. Maybe he said more. Let's see. Because sometimes you get more out of a video than you do reading an article. Sometimes, if I can find it. I don't know. But let's see what I like to see what Nightcap has to say about it. I think that'd be more better to talk about. Let's see what they got to say. That'll be kind of interesting.
Go to Nightcap. That button right here. Come for the sport, stay for the stories.
Different. You have to conduct yourself and carry yourself a certain way. That old school way Sean Payton has is not going to work. No, he's been able to be aligned.
Share how many surgeries I've had in the past.
This is
an interesting exchange of words happened this week between Sean Payton and his franchise quarterback Bo Nix. Guys, let's take a listen to the exchange between Sean and Bo.
A condition that was like predisposed right at that they always find a little bit more when they go in, and it wasn't a matter of if, it was a matter of when.
Didn't have any predisposed issues. My ankles were feeling really good.
He said he had one in high school, and then he said he had one at Auburn.
I don't think he really should share how many surgeries I've had in the past, to be honest with you, but because I don't, he doesn't really even know that.
Well, damn.
Hey, listen, if I'm not mistaken, the head coach and the quarterback supposed to be on the same page at all times.
They're supposed to be joining the hill.
Joe, them the two people that's supposed to be aligned in everything on and off the field.
Right.
And Bowden already showed, he not the one. You ain't finna be just talking to me any old kind of way. We seen that with him.
That
was his first year, huh? Yeah, when he was rookie. Hey, Joe, he had to buck up at Sean. Talk about, man, no, I'm not one of them.
Talk to be crazy.
I'm not one of them. And so this is another example of, boy, you sharing a little too much information. Like, what you doing? Hey, the players different now, man. The players are different. You have to conduct yourselves and carry yourself a certain way. That old school way Sean Payton has is not going to work. No, he's been able to bully other players, his approach and how he treated Russell Wilson on the sideline. You not finna be able to do that. Come on now. Yeah, Bo showing you.
He's treated a lot of players like this is who he is. This is Parcells.
Yeah.
He learned under Parcells. This is how you remember Parcells when he said that about Terry Glenn? He wouldn't even speak to T.O. because he didn't want T.O., but Jerry Jones did. He wouldn't even speak to him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he called Terry Glenn a derogatory term. Even his wife said that's unnecessary.
He called him she back then.
She got a groin injury or something. She got something going on.
Oh, because he was hurt.
I will say this to clear up what I said earlier. Now, I'm not saying that Sean Payton sharing Bo Nix's injuries was not a big deal. I'm not saying that. I was saying Bo Nix's response to Sean Payton wasn't that big of a deal. I think I was saying, like, I believe the media was blowing that out of proportion. Now, I do think it is a big deal for Sean Payton to share his medical history, regardless if Sean Payton was right or wrong. He just shouldn't do that. I think you should not disclose that type of information. Medical information is secrecy. If speaking for somebody who's in the medical field, you don't do that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't share somebody else's medical reports, medical history to anybody. I don't care if you're right or wrong, whatever. If you think you're okay to do with that, if you think you're authority to do that, doctors don't even do that. Doctors are not even supposed to be sharing medical information to other people. So Sean Payton is nowhere near a doctor, so he damn sure shouldn't be doing it. So Bo Nix was 100% correct on what he said. He shouldn't be doing that. Not let alone if Bill Nix agree with it or not, or Bill Nix is okay with it or not. But he is practically, like, theoretically correct. He shouldn't be doing it, But I was just saying that with Bo Nix saying that, I just felt like a lot of people were blowing that out of proportion. But yeah, Sean Payton was wrong. He's wrong, and that's all I gotta say about that. I was going to say something else, but it kind of left my mind.
So that's who this is who Sean Payton is. Me, I probably would have had a problem with that coaching style because you can't talk to me any kind of way. I won't let you talk to me any worse than what my grandmother talked to me. So
hold on, y'all think he do that with all his players?
Yes, he will. Absolutely.
Like all his players?
It doesn't matter. It does not matter if you're the superstar or the lowest tier. Absolutely, this is who he is, because that's how Parcells was.
Old school. That's that old school.
Old school.
Yeah,
but I mean, all this distraction, and look, he fired Joe Lombardi, who's the offensive coordinator, and they look at a Dave. They see this Davis. Was it Davis Mills? What's the quarterback's coach? Davis Mills. But now you see, well, he's looking for an offensive coordinator. Well, if you wanted to, because I believe you could have demoted the way you handle it, Joe. You demote if you wanted.
Yeah. So this would brush over. It's not a big deal. Denver will be fine. But let's keep it pushing. What I was want to say, if it comes back, I will come back on this. But I kind of forgot what I was going to say, what my take was on this. But let's see. I guess I can't open that one up. I'm just going to try to open up an article, but it's not letting me open. Hold on, let's see if I can open. So this was interesting. I saw this about a year ago. I didn't know this. Peanut. I don't know if you all know who Charles Peanut Tillman is, but he used to play for the Chicago Bears back in the day. Very great player. Very great player. I don't know if he'll ever be a Hall of Famer, but he was a really great player. I wonder is he a Hall of Famer? Is Charles Tillman a Hall of Famer? Yeah. He's been nominated multiple times, including for the class of 2025 to 26, but has never been named a semi-finalist or finalist. He should be a Hall of Famer. He was really good. It's really good. Definitely not first ballot, but I think he can get in one day. But let's talk here. So Former Chicago Bears star cornerback Charles Tillman has resigned from the Federal Bureau of Investigation amid concerns about President Donald Trump's administration's immigration policies. Tillman retired from the National Football League in 2016 and joined the FBI 2 years later, citing a sense of civic duty and a desire to continue serving the community. His decision to leave followed the Trump administration's deployment of immigration and customs enforcement (ICE) agents to Chicago in January 2025. Tillman said his decision to resign came after learning more about the administration's immigration enforcement efforts. He recalled a briefing in which agents were informed that White House border Tom Homan and television personality Dr. Phil McGraw would be coming to Chicago alongside ICE during immigration enforcement operations. When he first started, he joined the FBI's 20-week training program where he worked as an agent in downtown Chicago while also researching drug trafficking, human trafficking, and more. That's pretty dope. Tillman said he was instructed to participate in arrests that extended beyond violent offenders. Daily Mail reported that Tillman described a broken system, stating, "It was some guys are working on a house outside. Let's go sweep them up, and it will count for the quota system." To me, it felt political. Tillman said he chose to step away from the operation and attend Tessa, his 13-year-old daughter's basketball game. He later decided to resign from the FBI. Wow, interesting. Tillman's interest in public service was influenced by his father, Donald Tillman, who served for 20 years in the United States Army as a military police officer, supply sergeant, and platoon sergeant. That background helped shape Tillman's decision to major in criminal justice while playing football at the University of Louisiana at Lafayette, where he also developed his signature peanut punch. That's dope. Yeah, he's an interesting guy. During his final years with the FBI, Tillman served as a firearms tactical instructor, training agents in firearm safety and tactical operations. I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's, oh, hold on. Oh, wait, is there more? Or is this another? It's another article. I'm going to talk about that. So I think that's pretty cool. I think that's interesting about Charles Tillman. I don't know, like I said, if you all don't know who he is, he played for the Chicago Bears back in the day. He was just notorious for his ability to be able to punch the balls out, make guys fumble. He was a really, really solid cornerback. He was very fun to watch. Very fun to watch. So, but I mean, that's his decision. If he wanted to step away from the FBI because he didn't agree with the Trump's administration's immigration policies, I mean, more power to him. I mean, he served his country in the FBI, and I think I'm more impressed by, him doing different things and just following his heart, following his curiosity, his interest. As soon as he gets out of the NFL, he goes straight to the FBI, and I think that's pretty cool. So it'd be kind of interesting to see what he's going to do after this. He might just relax, spend the rest of his life with his daughter, seeing his daughter grow up, 13-year-old girl. But yeah, I'm not opposed to his decision. If you are involved in an industry or you're involved in something and you don't agree with where it's heading, dip out. I mean, it's a free country. You have the freedom to do that. I mean, so I think so many people, they fool themselves. They get involved in something and they try to change how it is. It's like, bro, like, you're not the CEO, you're not the entrepreneur, you're not the business owner, you don't own this. You're not going to change the system. So you can keep trying to complain and fight all you want. It's not going to change. Just move on and go somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? You can voice your frustrations, whatever, on the internet to other people, but they're not going to change for you. So I get it. But let's keep it pushing. So let's see. Oh yeah, that was another article. What? Yeah, really. Graduate. So he went to the FBI's training academy in Virginia and began working for the Bureau in 2018. Oh, he also used to train with law enforcement officers during the NFL offseason. That's pretty cool. Yeah, Tillman was a 2-time Pro Bowler, and it's pretty cool. I'm looking at some comments. Someone said, quitting a law enforcement job because you were expected to enforce the law is wow. I don't think it was he quit it because he was enforced to enforce the law. He quit it because he didn't agree with where it was headed. I read the article. The article literally said that it just seemed like a bunch of guys who weren't even qualified doing certain things that he didn't agree with. So if he didn't agree with it, he bounced. I mean, you don't got to be a freaking. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't disagree with him. But let's see. Let's keep it moving. Let's see. Yes. All right. Something else we can talk about. The Buffalo Bills are hiring Denver Broncos assistant head coach and coaching pass game coordinator Jim Leonhard as their defensive coordinator. According to ESPN's lead insider Adam Schefter, the Buffalo Bills are hiring Denver Broncos assistant head coach, defensive game coordinator Jim Leonhard to be their defensive coordinator. It was reported earlier in the week that he would be the leading candidate for the job, and despite interest from other teams, Leonhard would be the Bills' new defensive coordinator. Leonhard has been one of the hottest names in the defensive coordinator market. He had interviewed with the Los Angeles Chargers, Baltimore Ravens for their defensive coordinator positions, was linked and interviewed for the Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, and New York Giants and Jets. He was also considered the Broncos' top in-house option to replace defensive coordinator Vance Joseph if he landed a head coaching job this offseason. Let's see. This is a bit of a loss for the Broncos' defensive coaching staff. Leonhard was an assistant head coach and the team's defensive pass game coordinator. They also fired their cornerbacks coach, Addison Lynch, earlier in the week, so it appears that the Broncos will be making some changes to their defensive coaching staff this season. This is also the second coach the Buffalo Bills have taken from the Broncos staff. Earlier this week, they named former Denver Broncos offensive assistant coach Pete Carmichael Jr. their offensive coordinator. He has ties to the Bills' newly hired head coach, Joe Brady, and now will be his offensive coordinator in Buffalo. Leonhard will take over a Bills defense that struggled badly against the run and saw Broncos quarterback Bo Nix throw 3 touchdowns against it in the divisional round of the playoffs. If he could turn that defense around and quarterback Josh Allen plays at his usual MVP level, the Bills can be Super Bowl contenders once again in the AFC. We'll see. I think it's a pretty good hire. I mean, the Broncos obviously had a really great defense, but again, we'll see. We'll see. I think the problem with the Bills is that Josh Allen doesn't get blamed enough for the turnovers he has in the games, and then when it's never like they never like pretty much it's never his fault. It's always somebody else's fault. Always. Josh Allen did not play a good game. They lost that game because the turnovers that he did, and it's always like that. Not always, but it's like that a lot. Let's see. Okay. We're taking a little bit of a turn here. This is the first time ever on this channel that I'm actually talking about a completely different sport. Well, I did talk about basketball a little bit the last go round, but I was just pretty much just explaining why I'm not going to talk about basketball on this channel unless my audience asks me to. But I know a lot of platforms don't talk about wrestling, but I do because I think wrestling is kind of entertaining and I watch it. Of course, wrestling is fake, but it's still sports entertainment, and stories. The stories is what make wrestling fun to watch. So I thought this was kind of interesting when Roman Reigns said this. He said, and he won the Royal Rumble as well, but he said this right before he won the Royal Rumble. He goes, Roman Reigns says WWE and TKO have failed to develop new stars to take his place in the company. I'm a generous tribal chief. I give the people plenty of time. These young talent, they say we hog all the TV time. They'll complain about one thing, and I leave an opening and give them plenty of space to create just whatever type of superstardom they want. Get over, kids. Get over. We're 2 years in here now with WWE and TKO, and we haven't even advanced. We haven't evolved. Despite the fact we have great leadership. Nick Khan, God bless him, what a businessman. He's a genius, but we have to be able to keep up, create creatively. And that's why people like me, people who are striving to be the greatest, the GOATs, the MJs, I just can't sit around and see mediocrity. Now, when I set it up for everybody to just bring it on home. So Roman Reigns said this on the Pat McAfee show. Let's see if I can find this video.
No.
All right, I found the video. Let's see.
Always a mindset of that, but to be, there's always a mindset of that, but to be completely honest and transparent here, 2 years ago, it all changed around and, what I've been doing out there hasn't exactly been the same of what I've done before. And the way I look at it is I'm a generous tribal chief. I give the people plenty of time. These young talent, they say we hog all the TV time. They'll complain about one thing, and then I leave an opening. I give them plenty of space to create, whatever type of superstardom they want. Get over, kids. Yeah. Get over. You know what I mean? And we're 2 years here now. And we haven't advanced. We haven't evolved. You know what I mean? We have great leadership. And Nick Khan, God bless him, what a businessman. He's a genius. But we have to be able to keep up with that creatively. And that's why people like me, people who are striving to be the very best, the greatest, the GOATs, the MJs, I just can't sit around and see mediocrity. Not when I set it up for everybody to just slam it home. I mean, we're on Netflix for crying out loud. You gotta capitalize. We got people over here playing around trying to figure it out. And I got the formula. I know how to cook it up. You know what I mean? So it's been a tough couple of years for me. But at the same time, when you come off such a hell of a run, you gotta kind of just pump the brakes for a second. I got 5 children at home. I wear, we all wear those 2 important hats, being a husband and a father. You got to be able to, click. And I've been on the road for a long time. So I needed to be able to pull back a little bit. But I'm fully capable. I'm only 40 years old. With all the tech and all the information we have now, I feel like I'm 25 years old. So I'm still good to go. You know what I mean? There's always a mindset of that, but to be completely.
I think that's pretty cool that he said that. If for all of you all don't know, I think he had some issues with cancer back in his day. So I mean, he's saying he's only 40 years old. I think that's pretty cool. It's pretty inspiring for him to say that. I mean, some people will think 40 is old, and he's saying he's 40 years old and he feels like he's 25, and he had some histories with cancer. So I think that's he beat that twice, and so I think that's pretty dope. But yeah, Roman Reigns, he's always been my favorite wrestler. Well, not always. I mean, I had some favorite. I like always been a fan of Randy Orton. Always been a fan of Goldberg. I was a fan when I used to watch wrestling when I was a kid. I liked Sting, but when Roman Reigns came on the scene, he instantly became my favorite. Yeah, you just kind of like how he just. I just kind of like how he just freaking performs. To be honest, I like his takes and stuff. It is pretty cool. Since we're on wrestling, I thought this was kind of funny when it was during the Royal Rumble. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Well, hold on. Let me see if I can find it. Showing. See if I can find it. Showing. I saw this on. This was hilarious.
Interesting. What's going to happen here? Cousin and cousin. They're going to work together. There you go. Roman Reigns with a right hand. No time to play games.
I didn't.
This is interesting. What's going to happen here? Cousin and cousin. They're going to work together. There you go.
Look at Roman Reigns. He did the move too. Look how he turned around.
Roman Reigns with a right hand. No time to play games in the Rumble, son. This is interesting.
Yo, I saw that on G. I saw it. And he actually like did the move too. Like, I don't know if y'all watch wrestling, but he was doing like Jey Uso or part of his entrance. Like, he always be asking the fans be telling him to run it back. And then so he'll be like this. And then so he'll have them run his theme song back. And so that's what Roman Reigns was doing. And then he tricked him, I guess, when they uppercutted him. But yeah, that was hilarious. That's why I watch wrestling, because it's freaking hilarious, bro. I like to laugh, man. I have a high sense of humor. Like, I feel like it's still competition in a way. I mean, even though it's fake, but I mean, those guys, what they do, man, they put their body on the line like that, man. They still sacrifice a lot. And I feel like what they do, how like Roman, when you heard Roman Reigns when he said like how often they're on the field, like how long they're on the road, you ain't gonna do that if you don't love it, man. And the fact that they're doing that, man, and how you see them compete, you see what they're doing, the moves, the hits, the techniques, the skills. So you gotta be skillful to do that. Even though it's fake, man, you still gotta respect them though. And then, I mean, I feel like if you're building a business as an entrepreneur, somebody like me, if you're a creator, somebody like me, and I'm also in entertainment business, and I'm a writer, and it's whenever I look at wrestling, it's athletic theater. That's the way I always tell people. It's athletic theater. And what drives wrestling is stories. What drives business is story. So I mean, I feel like, and look at the branding, and the marketing of it. Is so if you're a creator, if you're a writer or an entrepreneur, you can learn a lot. You're a marketer, you can learn a lot from the WWE. You really can. Like, I don't know how much money it's making, but it's making money. They got deals with Netflix, they got deals with ESPN, they got people who you wouldn't think of who are fans of it. You see what I'm saying? That's marketing. That's branding. That's storytelling. I mean, people ain't vibing with it because of who's winning, who's losing, because of it's because again, it's fixed. It's fixed. It is fixed. But you still got people who are huge fans of this. I mean, grown people. Why is that? Because of storytelling. Our brains gravitate to stories. It's all psychological. So that's why I kind of like wrestling. I like the economical business aspect of the WWE. I really do. And I learn a lot from it, you know. So I would like to one day be a writer, you know, like maybe I could be a WWE writer. That'll be kind of cool, a sports writer for them. So that would be dope, you know. I wouldn't mind doing that. So yeah, that's why I decided to go ahead. I knew one of these days I was going to bring it up. I was going to talk about it on this channel. Like, don't get me wrong, this channel is the main thing on this channel is the NFL. The main sport of this channel is football. But I don't really watch other sports that much outside of football, but I do watch WWE and I do martial arts. So I don't watch UFC. I don't watch boxing, but I'm thinking about watching them because I'm kind of getting curious of watching boxing and watching MMA and UFC because I do feel like they're competitive. I said this a few videos back, and I said, like, I gave you guys a whole story breakdown of why I don't watch the NBA anymore. I started watching the NBA when Kobe retired. I talked about that. Kobe wasn't the reason why I stopped watching after he retired. It was just that I stopped watching NBA because I just started feeling like it was just not being as competitive as it used to be. And so, like I told y'all, like I'm a diehard Lakers fan. When I saw James Harden drop 60 points on us or something like that on us, and half of those points that James Harden had was off free throws, like you can barely touch them dudes in the league. Man, I was like, I'm done with the NBA. But I kept watching it. I was done with it, but I kept watching it because I just kept watching it because I was still a huge fan of it. But that's when I really started hating it. But I decided to keep watching it until Kobe Bryant was going to retire. That's why I kept watching it. But I was so over it, bro. Like I was so over it. Like so when at that time I was like, you know what? I'm not watching basketball no more. I'm only going to watch it when the Lakers play. So that only held up for a few years because when Kobe retired, I'm like, bro, I'm getting tired of seeing the Lakers lose all the time. Like I'm a diehard Lakers fan, and I if I'm gonna hate the NBA and my team sucks, that's just torture watching it. It's torture. So I'm like, bro, I'm done. Like, I'm done with it. Like, I love basketball as a sport. I think it's cool. Like I said, I grew up playing basketball. I grew up playing a lot of different sports. I grew up swimming. I grew up playing baseball. I grew up playing basketball. I wrestled. I did some judo when I was a little kid. Football. I got into football when I got into high school. And now, like, I still doing martial arts. And, you know, I did boxing. I do boxing now. Like I did boxing when I was in high school too, but right now, like, you know, martial arts and it's kind of the only thing that I do now. But I think I'm going to start watching boxing in MMA and UFC. I think I am going to bring that into this channel, this platform. So I will try to find a card in it sometimes. Like I'm not going to talk about that stuff every night, but if I find out if there's something that is kind of interesting to talk about, I'm gonna talk about it. I'll talk about it on the channel, you know. Like, especially if I'm on here every night now, you know, like I am, just talk about certain news, whatever's going on, you know. Like I said, the main thing is football. Like, football is easy for me to talk about, you know. So, but there's other stuff I think it kind of brings a little bit, you know, I think it brings a little flavor to this channel and probably expands the brand of this channel in the community, you know, of this channel, the audience, because the fan base in the WWE world is huge, man. It's huge, and that ain't going nowhere. Now, I think the NFL has the world's largest fan base in all of sports entertainment, but it's huge for WWE. Boxing, I don't know. I think boxing is not as big as it used to be, and I don't think MMA and UFC is all that big. I don't know. But hopefully they get bigger because those guys are competitive, man. You can't tell me you're not a boxer and it's not competitive, or UFC is not competitive, you know. But it's no way in hell you're not. But yeah, that's sad. I don't think I have anything else to talk about with wrestling or anything like that. Let me see what else is on the card here. Oh, this is perfect to talk about. Since we talked, I was just talking to you guys about how competitive, how I don't think the NBA is all competitive anymore. And I actually put this on the card, so I'm going to bring this up. Hold on. Just give me a second. Just give me a second. Let me pull this article up. I mean, I find this article. I saw something on, well, maybe it's not. If I can't find the article, maybe it's not. Maybe it's not accurate then. If I can't find an article or video on it. But I saw I was on Facebook and I saw something that Anthony Barr. I don't know if you guys know who Anthony Barr is, but Anthony Barr, he was a linebacker for the Minnesota Vikings. He came out of UCLA. He was solid. He was solid, man. I think he had some injury issues. He was under Zimmer, and he was an off-ball linebacker. He played in a Pro Bowl 4 straight times from 2015 to 2018 in 102 games. He recorded 496 tackles, 39 tackles for a loss, 17 and a half sacks. So, I mean, he was solid. He was really good at UCLA too. But he switched positions to linebacker. He was a defender star on UCLA's campus after switching positions to linebacker. He started as a running back, and then I guess that's when he went to linebacker. But anyway, I saw something on Facebook, and I'll have to find the article or video if he said this, because sometimes you can't really freaking depend on Facebook for accurate information. But it was from this page. What was the page? Well, it said, well, let me go on his page. Maybe he did say this, because I took a screenshot of the page. I took a screenshot of it, so I can't find it. But I guess the page said that he said that the NBA is not competitive. I don't know why he would come out and say that, but it says, is the NBA the worst pro sports product out right now? Even the announcers are a tough listen. Somebody said that he said this on his page. I don't know. Let me see if I can. Let me go on X. Let me go on X and go on and see if he said this on his X account. Because I'm trying to find an article, and I don't see an article saying that he said that. And I don't want to say he said it if he didn't say that, because sometimes people be lying. There you go. Let me see. Oh, he did say it. He did say it. Like, I'm on his page. All right, hold on. I'm gonna share his page with y'all. So he did say it. It's the reason why it's not an article or a video, because he just put it on his page, on his X account. So here it is right here. Is the NBA the worst pro sports product out right now? Even the announcers are a tough listen. Spoiler alert, it's pretty dog shit. I'm gonna follow him for that. I'm following him for that. So, like, that's what I'm saying, man. It's not just me. Like, yo, like, the NBA is garbage, man. That's what I'm saying. Like, and it's not basketball, it's the NBA. I mean, I've been saying for years the NBA is just terrible. They need to do something about it. They really do. Like, look what he said in his comments. He said, I'm about to like this because this is facts. He said, hold on. Somebody said NHL. He said NHL is electric, and the guys show heart night in and night out. So that's what I'm talking about, man. this is what literally what I'm talking about. So you guys know it's just that's what I'm saying. Like me as a former athlete, former football player, like I said this in the last video. I said because I was dating this girl and she said she was competitive and she loves basketball and she watches basketball all the time. When she told me she was competitive, I was like, I didn't say this, but I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, are you sure you? I don't see how anybody can say they're competitive, and it's not just her. It's anybody in general, people in general. I'm just like, even when I see guys watch basketball, I'm just like, how can you watch the NBA? In if you're a competitive person, how can you watch the NBA? Because it's not that competitive anymore. It's just terrible watching. Like I don't know. Like I mean, it's boring to me, man. It's boring. It's boring. The 3-point shot has changed. Let's see. I don't like because I don't watch NBA anymore, so I want to see what these people have to say. The 3-point shot has changed the game to the point where it has robbed the league of its artistry. Yeah. So somebody said football is by far the worst. The issue with y'all in basketball is that y'all genuinely do not know basketball. Well, you're wrong. I started off playing basketball, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about. And a lot of guys who played football played basketball. So I don't know what he's talking about. But anyway, it's been unwatchable since the players started running the league 15 to 20 years ago. Yeah, that was about around the time where, when I stopped watching it. Players literally decide when and where they'll be traded, and the GMs can't and don't do nothing about it. Throw on top all the whining and flopping, no thanks. That's what I'm saying. Like LeBron James is one of the greatest players ever played, and that fool is always known for always crying about everything. And once somebody said, I would argue that American football is 10 times more cringe, but the NBA is starting to feel like the pre-Jordan era again. I don't see how people think American football is more cringe. I honestly don't. Like the argument is that it's competitive. The NFL is competitive. You cannot, if you say the NFL is not competitive, you're an idiot. You're dumb. Like you don't watch football. There's no way in hell you go out there and you watch a NFL game, and say it's not competitive. So somebody said the big difference is 99% of MLB athletes put 100% into every game. It's much more competitive and more humbling, in my opinion. How often in the NBA do you see superstars go through 1 or 2 month slumps shooting 20% from the floor, then the next week put up 50? That's how it goes in the MLB. Someone said, yes, it's been a joke ever since Adam Silver took over. Yeah. So, and someone said, great hearing a pro athlete state this. I think you said it's a joke these days. You get about 70% effort in most games. Then there's the ridiculous officiating and loud management, etc. Meanwhile, they're making the most. Yeah, they still do make the most. Still watch playoffs, but regular season is a joke these days. 90s was must-see TV. I told y'all, like, Tracy McGrady, I don't think Tracy McGrady played in the 90s, but Tracy McGrady, he was my favorite player of all time, man. He still is. Yeah. Yeah. The NBA is a joke. It's a joke. But yeah, I was so I'm glad I found it when Anthony Barr said that. But yeah, so I knew I wasn't tripping. I was like, I wonder where that article was. But let's keep it pushing though. So ESPN sources: the Baltimore Ravens are hiring Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle as their offensive coordinator. Doyle can leave because in Baltimore he will have play calling responsibility, but new Ravens head coach JC Maynard now as someone to run Baltimore's offense. All right, let's see. So, if any Raven fans is watching this, I wonder how y'all feel about this. But let's see if it's on the NFL account. You know what? talk about. Let's see. Let's talk about the Super Bowl a little bit because we got roughly soon up. So let's see what Sam Darnold got to say. You see some.
Takeaway for your fans, perhaps, in the resiliency you've shown. I mean, nobody sets out to be a case study in resilience and comebacks, but you've done that. What do you hope young fans take from your ability to bounce back and reinvent?
Yeah, I think the only thing that matters is, if you believe in yourself, that's really it. I always believed in myself. I knew that I could do this at a high level, and that was really it. That's what kept me going. And I knew at some point an opportunity would arise. But even if it didn't, I knew that I did everything that I could to become a better player year in and year out. And yeah. Thank you.
Oh, this thing a whole hour. Never mind. We ain't about to watch all that. I thought it was like a minute or whatever. I was just wanting to see what Sam Darnold was going to say. But I found the article. I found like the little link I want to show y'all about the Baltimore Ravens. Let's see. So yeah, the Baltimore Ravens are hiring Bears offensive coordinator Declan Doyle as their offense. That's a good. Hey, that's not. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see that. That's gonna be interesting. Okay, I said it before. I was like, I wasn't gonna be all that big on Jesse Minter. Jesse Minter getting an offense. Jesse Minter being head coach, but if he can get some coordinators in there, and it looks like he is, it might be interesting. Well, it's going to be interesting anyway. It was going to be interesting either way because it's going to be interesting to see what Jesse Minter is going to do. But I think that's going to be an interesting hire. We don't really know, but because we know Ben Johnson was the one who was calling the plays, but let's see. So we're about to find out the Bears season was because of Ben Johnson and Doyle. Interesting, also Ben Affleck. We'll see. Some guys are thinking that he's a good hire. So we'll find out. I think I don't think it's a bad hire. I definitely don't think it's a bad hire. And even if he wasn't a guy calling the plays, we gotta the thing about it is we can't disregard the fact that he more than likely learned under Ben Johnson. You know what I'm saying? So I think just because a guy didn't call plays, like we gotta automatically dismiss him. If because it's like, hey, I mean, he probably wasn't calling the plays. Okay, that's fine, but can he call plays? Who did he learn under? So, and also the Ravens are also hiring Dolphins defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver as their defensive coordinator. Weaver, he's 45, returns to Baltimore for a second coaching stint. I don't know about that, but we'll find that out. And we got a couple of things that we can finish up on, and we can end it here. But some people thinking that for us Charger fans out there, some people are thinking that some teams can steal Khalil Mack from us. I mean, I've already my take that I don't think Khalil Mack is going anywhere. If Khalil Mack does make a decision, I think it'll be a decision of him retiring. That's what I think. So it says 3 teams that could try to steal Khalil Mack from the Chargers. Let's see who those 3 teams are. Baltimore Ravens, Washington Commanders, Tennessee Titans. I don't think so, man. I don't think so. Says the Los Angeles Chargers will face some tough decisions this offseason as they attempt to retain key free agents. They've already inked an extension for defensive tackle Tier Tart, but Adolphe Alway, Keenan Allen, Zion Johnson, and a number of other players remain free agents. I'll completely find out we do not resign Keenan Allen. I wanted Keenan Allen back more than anybody this past season. I'm good on Keenan. I think it's time for Keenan to go. I mean, if we can get him back for a cheaper deal, I'm okay with it. But yeah, I don't know, man. This last play, I'll put a bad taste in my mouth with that terrible offensive play. Most importantly, veteran pass rusher Khalil Mack 1-year deal has expired, and Los Angeles will need to determine whether they are willing to shell out the money to bring him back. On one hand, they're a combination of Tuli to Pelotu and Owe, if they are able to retain him, could be such issue. On the other hand, Mack is still a highly impactful defender when he's healthy, and the Chargers need to maintain continuity on the defensive side of the ball as much as possible. Mack will certainly have his suitors this offseason, and an aggressive biting war could cause LA to balk at his contract number. So Ravens are tied as Mack's best landing spots in Pro Football Focus recent defensive free agent roundup. there are multiple reasons to believe they might be a signal. Yeah, because Jesse Min was there, but I don't think he's going to go over there. I don't think Khalil Mack wants to play anywhere else but LA. Secondly, the Ravens finished with the third fewest sacks in the NFL this season. Their trade of Oweh to the Chargers did not help. Could they try to rectify their pass rush? And once since the Commanders don't need to get any older on defense, this past season they had Bobby Wagner, Von Miller. Realistically, though, this team needed serious difference. He's not going to the Commanders. Come on. Why would he go to the Commanders? Tennessee can go virtually any direction this season as they have needs all over their roster with their hiring of the defensive minded head coach. Robert Saleh, however, could be logical for them to shore up that side of the ball in the free. He's not, this is a terrible article. I'm not even gonna waste my time reading this article. This article is stupid. I don't know why I'm wasting my time with that. But just a couple of things I want to talk about real quick. Let's go to the let's see. All right. Since we're on free agency, we can continue to talk about free agency, but let me see. Let's see. Man, my internet's running slow. And like I said, for tomorrow. Okay, here we go. Let's have to pull some stuff on. All right. So let's see. So Chargers name potential landing spot for game changing speedster. Oh yeah, I saw this. So Rashid Shaheed, I think his name is. It'll be kind of cool. Here's what PFF said about the potential pairing. If he leads the Seahawks, one fun landing spot will be with the Mike McDaniel Los Angeles Chargers. McDaniel's offense with the Miami Dolphins was built on speed. Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are two of the top 5 wide receivers with their highest average max speed when running a route over the last 4 seasons. When Lat McConkey and Quentin Johnson are faster, while Lat McConkey and Quentin Johnson are faster than the average receiver, Shaheed, I think is pretty nice his name, or Shaheed ranks among the top 15 wide receivers in average max speed over the last 4 seasons. In offense, him and his offense, McDaniel's offense, would have the chance to be something special, even though he would also have notable competition for targets in the Chargers offense. He's a solid player. I like him. He played really well against the Rams. Very well against the Rams. He had that first touchdown against them, burnt one of their cornerbacks. The Chargers have a solid core of pass catchers heading into the next season between Ladd, Trey, Quinn, QJ, and Oronde. But this positional group could benefit greatly from a speed. Yeah, they need it. I mean, if they can get Hill in there in Shaheed, that will be lights out. And I mean, Ladd got wheels. He got wheels. He's not like a deep threat, but I think he can be a deep threat if he's coached right. You know what I'm saying? And QJ, he's not slow either, but if you can get Shaheed and Hill in there, because I saw there was talk that the Chargers could get Hill. Man, I'm telling you. Oh yeah, that's gonna be solid. That Justin Herbert needs that. He needs help. We need to help her. We need to help him at all costs. Shaheed was brought in midseason to bolster a Seattle receiving corps and special teams, and the acquisition have paid dividends. He earned his second Pro Bowl selection in 2025 as a returner. So he's offensive production with the Seahawks has been modest, recording 15 receptions, 188 yards, and 6 carries for 74 yards, but he's proven to be a threat on the offensive side of the ball, as evidenced by his 138 catches, 2,000 receiving yards, 12 touches during his time with the Saints. They might prioritize signing him following his role in the Super Bowl run. The Chargers' significant cap space and their arrival of the game and make them a prime destination for the 27-year-old. He's still young, so we'll see. We'll see. All right, this is the last news for the day. So this is our first rounder drawing some attention from Jim Harbaugh, some guy out of Florida. I was curious to look at this. This guy, I don't know his name, but as the last day of Senior Bowl practices wrapped up, the Chargers were among the teams in attendance, checking out some of the nation's top draft prospects. Among the team's evaluators was head coach Jim Harbaugh, whose attention was drawn to a potential first-round pick. According to Pro Football Focus, Trevon Sekema, one of Florida defensive tackle Caleb Banks' reps, had Harbaugh smiling while he watched practice from the sideline. Banks was among the winners on Thursday, securing multiple wins as a pass rusher during the one-on-ones. Using his speed and power to overwhelm offensive linemen and get into the backfield. He also made a quality stop as a run defender during the fall team period. Biggest winner of the weekend was easily Florida defensive tackle Caleb Banks. The last 2 days after his slow start were reminiscent of his 2024 tape. Flashes quick feet, great flexibility, and active hand as a pass rusher on this rep. So let's see what's up with this. Chargers need something like that. Pick off the line. Yeah. Let's see what that. All right. We need a great defensive end. So that's all I got, man. If y'all want more, you know where to find me. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll be back tomorrow. Deuces.